here we now go. The final job is to replace this transmission pan. It actually houses the filter. You have to replace the whole thing. Another remarkably stupid idea. However, customer would like this done because he wants to keep using this car. He goes to pick up his mum in it, and she's all the way down in Tucson and we're in Phoenix, so it's a fair old trip, and he wants to make sure it's reliable and this car keeps going for him. I believe he got it at a bargain price and wants to spend a few dollars on it, which he certainly is doing. I have just completed the motor mounts, I have completed the compressor, I have completed a drain and flush of the steering fluid. Now it's to do this final job, which is the transmission pan. You see that there's stuff dripping off of it. That is PB Blaster. This is renowned for these screws having a problem. I sincerely hope I don't. So I've soaked it in WD-40, PB Blaster, and hopefully that will help. I'm going to leave it for a little while now. I'm just going to sit and watch a video. I don't know what, a Jaguar video probably. Can't help my addiction. And let this soak in. Once that's done, then I will get you back under here and we will start to take it off. Hopefully you will find this of interest. I can tell you that when I have finally finished filling this up, you have to remove the plug on the side, obviously, to fill it, and I'm going to check that before I do anything else, just in case, and you should do the same, because if you can't get the filler plug out, you're going to be screwed. So it's better to say to the customer, sorry, couldn't get it out. I did see on one video where they actually had to drop the transmission slightly in order to get a wrench in there, but we will see. Okay, so let's go and sit down, watch my video whilst I come back. When I come back to this, as I said, I'll show you me draining it, and when you fill it up, you do have to do it to a certain temperature with the engine running. Again, another stupid idea, all for the sake of a dipstick. Yeah, and the designers of the dipsticks. Alright, back in a second. I have just loosened these bolts. I've seen people remove these and all sorts of different things. I've just loosened these two, and that has tilted the transmission, and maybe because that dent's there, it allows me to get my Allen key all the way in, and you must make sure you get that all the way in. These are notoriously tight, and then, oh, look at that. Oh, that was brilliant. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing this. That just came loose. Oh good, and I can undo that with my fingers. And I saw in one of the videos, a guy says, well, of course this aids the drainage, which of course it does, because then there's air going in as well as fluid coming out, and let's hope Sod's Law doesn't kick me in the ass and fluid comes out now, and it is. Okie dokie. I should have known better, shouldn't I, huh? Murphy's Law. Whoa! Jesus Christ. Oh, now the plug won't go back in. Get in the fucking hole. Alright. Oh, give me my drain. Ah. Well, guys, I would suggest that that was overfilled, because it shouldn't be to that level unless it's at a temperature of 40 degrees. And even then, it should be pouring out. Good God. Well, this, as I've mentioned before, is a reason I have... I am covered in it. Well, there's a warning to you all. This isn't the drain plug I'm undoing here. This is the filler plug. Wow. What a lovely mess I am now. I suppose I'll have to have another shower this year. Damn it, and I wasn't due one until August. And I had my birthday. Okay, guys. Well, I got some cleanup to do now before I can progress, otherwise I'm going to be treading this crap everywhere. So I'm going to just let that drain. I'm going to drain the pull out the drain plug in a second, and once I've got that drain plug out, I'll get the old kitty litter out. Very appropriate for this vehicle, kitty litter. Alright guys, what can I show you? Yeah, let me show you the drain plug and also the other items. Sorry, I'm waffling a bit because I got a bit of a surprise there. The socket to loosen these nuts here on the transmission, they're 13mm. The Allen wrench, let me just double check on that. Yeah, that is an 8mm. The one here is bigger than 8mm. So let's have a look and see what size that is. Let's start with this big ass mofo. And there it is, it's the big ass mofo, and that big ass mofo is a 10mm. Now, I'm going to use my breaker bar on this because I've seen these be tight. Now, it is plastic, and really, do I need to undo it? Yes. Why? Because, oh dear, that is, oh, it's got, yeah, it has a little ratchet on it, be aware of that. Okay. So there we go, this is a 10mm, and I'm sure I'm going to get more fluid on me, which is why I have not bothered to start cleaning up yet. Good God, look at that mess. Yucky poo-boos. Alright, let me see now if I can balance this on my arm. Ooh-wee, that was not such a good idea, Gary. Right, hold it. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Oh boy. There we go. Actually, that fluid doesn't look too bad. The owner will be pleased with that. Yeah, and you watch these, they glub. Gloop, gloop, gloop. And that's when they make a hell of a mess. I was initially thinking I was gonna measure how much comes out. I don't think so. Look at this. Holy shit. Oh dear, I'm gonna let that finish draining. I'm gonna have a beer whilst that finishes draining. Oh God, I'm covered in it. Where's my rag? I lost my rag. As I often do, especially working on cars. Oh dear. I need to do this. I'm sorry you're having to watch it, but I can't turn off my camera until I've got a half clean finger. Alright. Subtract the wet from the dry, guys. You know what I mean. Alright. God knows what you were viewing then. Okay, back in a second. Before I go any further, I meant to mention this before. Do double check when you get your new pan with gasket that it is the same as the one you're replacing. And then read the instructions, even though they're upside down. And the other tool you will need, apart from wrenches, is one of these. Yep, it's a temperature sensor, because you have to run it up to 40 degrees Celsius. As you can see, that piece of paper is 31.1 degrees, so that paper is not hot enough. But with the engine running, that's what you have to do. You initially put this, obviously you put the pan on, you fill it up until it starts to flow out, you then put the plug in, start the engine, run it. While it's running, you take the temperature of the pan or the transmission, whichever you want to aim at, it doesn't matter, and then you pump more fluid in, and you keep pumping fluid in until the transmission is at 40 degrees,
and B, the fluid starts to come out of the filler hole. As soon as that happens, stop filling it, let it get down to a few dribbles, get that plug in. It doesn't matter if it's a little, not a dribble, but you know, a little flow, but as long as it's not gushing out, then you know you have the correct level. It's a pain in the ass, but that's what has to be done. So, that's it. One of these little guns, and the filter pan, and you're ready to go. Next I'll be taking the pan off.
I left this overnight because I'd finished for the day. Didn't bother putting the drain plug back in, thought, I ain't gonna leak. It's still dripping even now in the morning. Amazing. Alright, time to get the pan off. Time to get these screws out. I have just been round and cracked each one of these. Do be very careful with these. They can be a real pain. It is a T27. I managed to get a 25 in there, which is smaller, and started to undo them, although it was loose, but I thought that was correct, because in my set that's how it went. Then I discovered one of them burred, which made me change my underwear. Fortunately, I did find a 27 and I managed to bang it into the hole and got that one that had burred to come out. So do be very careful, and do note that is a T27. This is it with the pan removed. All that's required now is for me to clean the surface so that the new one, when it goes up, mates nicely. As you can see, it's pretty clean in here, which is rather good news. This is the old pan here, and the magnets there don't look too bad at all. Do note the filter at that end. You have to make sure that goes up in the correct hole, which is up there. Make sure the seal's not been stuck in there, otherwise that will cause you all sorts of grief. Right, time to get some brake cleaner, give this a good clean under here, being very careful not to get any dirt inside the transmission. So it'll just be paper towels, brake cleaner, and wiping outwards away from the insides of the transmission, which is currently dripping all over me. Alright, next is to torque the bolts, and they're meant to be done to 10 num-nums, or in other words Newton meters, plus or minus 1 Newton meter. I have the 21 bolt, so that's fig 2, and hopefully you can see that, but that is the sequence I have to tighten them in. And it's like a cylinder head. Start in the middle and work your way around in a circle going out and opposite. So let me get that done. Alright, now it's time to get messy again. I've torqued all the bolts there, armed myself with a pump, and this is transmission fluid in here. I will now pump it in here, hopefully, and once it starts to flow out, then I'll put the plug in. Then we start the engine and take the plug out again, and then get it up to temperature while we keep pumping fluid into it. And then when it reaches 40 degrees and is flowing out, then we know we've reached the correct level. I'll show you that in a minute. Something I want to mention, with the new filter on that pipe was this little plastic cap. Obviously you have to take it off and smear some of the transmission fluid around the rubber seal so it pops in nice and easy.
But whenever you get one of these caps, keep it in a big jar like this one if you like. They are always very handy when you're working on a vehicle. I mean, look at all these damn things I've saved. And you get to eat the puffs. A variety of plugs and caps. So whenever you're taking like a transmission line out of the radiator or anything really, you got a cap that will stop all the fluid pissing everywhere. Just a thought, you know, handy tip if you like. Also, just wanted to let you know on the transmission itself, and let me take you around this way, not that it really matters which way I take you. I can't, oh, hang on a second, sorry guys. The plug on the side there, what I've done is I filled it up as you saw and it started to overflow. That was cold. So once it was up to the level, I just started the engine just for a few moments and then shut it off again. Then took that plug out one more time and topped up the fluid again. Now what I'm going to do is start the engine, get it up to temperature, then take that plug out and let's see if anything comes out, and if it doesn't then I'll top it off. Okay, and it has to be 40 degrees Celsius. Alright, not sure how this is going to work out. I now have to start the car. Now I need to get it up in the air. Right, back on the locking pins. Now let's get underneath. Let's see what kind of temperature we got going on here. It is 30 degrees at the moment, roughly. Now let's get my ass into gear here. Oh, I can feel the warmth. Let's try it on the side there. 30. Remember, I need to get it up to 40 degrees. I think what I'm going to do is take the plug out now before everything gets too hot. We'll see what comes out. Because obviously I'm assuming that as the fluid gets hotter it will expand. However, it is also moving around. 31 degrees. I think I need to put some more fluid in there. So here goes. Boy, this is messy. I don't know what kind of view you guys are getting. Hopefully you can see something of what I'm doing. Alright, I'm not going to put any more in for the moment. I'm just going to let it warm up a bit. And I'm sorry I'm having to duck around and maybe you don't get a good view. But there's a hot exhaust pipe there. I don't really want it on my head. Okay, I'm still on 31 degrees. This is going to take a little while to warm up. 32. Ride along with me, guys. There's the hole. 33. So we're moving up temperature wise, and I'm not sure when it gets up higher, in all honesty, whether it's going to piss out or whether I'm going to need to add some more. So we will just keep an eye on it. And I think really I want to aim at the transmission
rather than the plastic. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, but it says the transmission. So there we go, 32, 33, heading towards 34. Alright, there we go. Oh, and by the way, in case you have forgotten, don't forget to tighten these nuts back up afterwards. I've left it that way so I can get the plug in and then tighten it up. And I'm figuring that the little angle that I've got on it is really not going to make that much difference. Okay, heading towards 34 degrees now. Thirty-four and a half. For fun, let's put it on the exhaust. That exhaust is currently bashing out at 60 odd degrees. Yeah, I really don't want to put my head on that. Oh, how about the catalytic converter? 66 degrees. Okay, back to the real stuff. Transmission 35. I'm going to pump a little more fluid in, just to be sure. And I tell you guys, this really is one hell of a messy job. But once it's done, it's done. So, you know, and do be careful here. I can feel the heat. You can't. You can't, hopefully. My eyebrows at the moment, I'm right next to the exhaust pipe. Okay, looks like I'm going to need to top up my fluid bottle here. That's okay. While it heats up, we can do that. Uh-oh, coming to the end of this particular bottle. Oh, wow. Alright, so we have just done 4 litres. I need to grab the other bottle. Don't go away. I may have to edit this video. Yay! Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just leave it in for fun, so you guys can laugh at me. Hey, why shouldn't you? Alright. Whoopsie. I don't know what you're seeing, guys. Sorry. I really will have to edit this video. Gosh. Okay. Alright, that should do me now. Let me put that in there. And let me get my fluid in there. Okay, nothing's coming out yet. So let me give it a shot. Let's see what kind of temperature we're looking at. We're on 37 degrees, so we're getting pretty darn close now. So I'm going to pump some more fluid in. I don't want to cause any problems. There we go. I want to make sure we got enough fluid in there for the pump and fans and the solenoids and everything. And I tell you, I'm pumping this bugger in there and it's taking it. Man, oh man. Whew. Hey, this is going in. I have to fill up another bottle. You may wonder why I'm not doing it straight from the 5 or the 4 litre one. The answer is simple. This adapter I have only fits this bottle. Okay, let's get some more fluid ready. Okay, still nothing coming out. Let me wipe my hands and check that temperature one more time. See what we're doing here. We're at 38.1 on the metal and 37.9, 39, 40. All right, I gotta make sure I get this fluid coming out now. So I gotta get this in here, because we are now at 40 degrees. I don't want to get any higher than that, or at least not much. So I got to pump this in here now until it flows out. This is where speed is of the essence. So excuse me if I don't talk so much, while I'm just concentrating on getting this fluid in there. Damn, I've run out again. Ooh-wee. Alright. That doesn't help. Come on, you. And this is why this is such a pain in the ass to do this job. Because you are limited time-wise. Okay, and here we go again. More fluid. Oh, finally it's coming out. Here we go. All right. Now, let's just let that roll for a second. Wow, that took a lot. Wipe my hands. Just going to let that dribble for a moment or two, and I want to double check the temperature. See what we got. 3940.1. That's brilliant. Absolutely spot on. Just going to let that flow for a moment, then I'm going to plug it. It's getting to a flow now that is breaking. Yep, I think we're good. All right, get that plug in the hole. Put some hair around it, I'll get it in the hole straight away. There you go, see, straight in. All right, now I'm going to shut this off, tighten everything up, and we are done. Holy baby. Let me get out of here. Messy, messy, messy. Messy beaucoup.
Oh. All right. Get this back up where it should be. Oh, I'm not going to run the engine anymore, am I? So let me bring that down and take this up.
One final thing I wanted to add, and that is, whilst you're under here, do check this switch here. I think it's called a TCM. I can't remember exactly. Just make sure that's not leaking. On this particular vehicle, it's good, it's dry. But whilst you're here, before you start all the work, make sure that's not leaking, otherwise you will have to get a new one. It is a common fault on these transmissions that leaks. Alright, that is really the end of this particular video. I hope it's been of use to you, and as James May would say, like, comment, subscribe. Give this a nice clean up, good old brake cleaner, give it a good soaking, get all that mess off of there, just in case, and then in future you will know whether or not that puppy is leaking. And pray it isn't, because you don't really want to go through this process again. It's a pain in the ass. Again, please like, comment, but more, subscribe to my channel. I've only got 65 subscribers and I'd love some more. You don't even have to watch my shit, you can just subscribe. Okay, more crap coming on this channel as soon as I do it. My Mark II Jaguar stuff, my XK8 Jaguar stuff, my Triumph Bonneville stuff, that is Triumph Bonneville motorcycle, and whatever else. Oh, my Dodge Ram. I do all sorts of shit, various cars, just for fun, and hopefully help people with their vehicles. And as I've said in many of my videos, it's a good night from me, and it's a good night from him.